I'm Khalid Mahmood Atta. Welcome to Toronto Buzz. Toronto is home to 8% of the entire Canadian population. 30% of its recent immigrants have landed in Toronto. Toronto also homes over 20% of the entire immigrant population in Canada. Toronto Buzz has a number of segments. The first segment that you're going to see is about politics. Our political analyst, Vince Fiorito, talks about a hot, buzzing issue. Welcome back to Toronto Buzz. I'm your host, Khalid Mahmood Atta, and tonight, once again, we have our esteemed guest, our political analyst, Vince Fiorito, on the show. Welcome to the show, Vince.
Oh, thank you, Khalid. I'm pleased to be here.
Now, Canada recently participated in the Paris Summit regarding environmental change. Do you have any take on that?
Yes, it's quite impressive. The Trudeau government in the last 3 months has made more progress on the environmental file than the previous government had done in 10 years. The Canadian delegation to Paris was one of the largest delegations, and Canada moved from being an obstacle to climate change to actually a facilitator of negotiations. So I'm really impressed with the way of how the Trudeau government helped. The fact that he invited all stakeholders was really impressive. The leaders of all the different opposition parties were present, as well as the leaders of the provinces and territories. So it was quite an impressive group of people that we sent there. And I think that Canada was a force for positive change in the world. I feel that we could have accomplished more at the Paris Summit. Some things that people don't really understand about it is that a common misperception is that they did not actually commit to any immediate goals. I mean, there's some long-term goals that we have to commit to by 2070, carbon neutral. That's going to be a very difficult objective to achieve, but it's a very important one that we do. The last time that the Earth had this much carbon in the atmosphere was about 4.5 million years ago, and at that time the Arctic was ice-free. So if we meet the voluntary commitments of the various nations around the world, which are non-binding, there's no punitive measures if they don't meet them, it's purely voluntary. Where we'll level off in 2070 is enough carbon in the atmosphere of where we were about 45 million years ago when there was crocodiles and palm trees in Greenland. So, and also a 30-meter increase in sea levels. So the long-term, these are not immediate problems that are going to come next year, but the long-term consequences is that many major cities with global coastal cities around the world are going to have serious flooding problems as the storms become worse. So this is a really important file for everybody to get right, and I think that Canada's moving in the right direction, and we've been a positive force in that area.
Now, what's the biggest challenge for the government in overcoming some of these issues?
I think it's going to be trying to get some of our partners in line with us. The two greatest emitters of carbon in the world are China and the United States. However, the leaders of those countries understand the seriousness of that problem and have for some time. My son lives in Shanghai, as you know, and I'm really impressed with some of the things that the Chinese government has actually done regarding climate change, as far as the solar heating of water on the tops of large apartment buildings and skyscrapers. But I mean, they've also have a problem with electricity generated by coal. The two biggest, the Saudi Arabia of the world for coal is basically the United States and China. And I know there's going to be a big temptation to want to convert all of that cheap energy into electricity. But I really know the world can't afford it. I think the fossil fuel industry is coming to an end. That's one of the outcomes of the Paris, is that the end is near. The fossil fuel age did not end the Stone Age did not end when we ran out of stones, and the fossil fuel age is not going to end when we run out of fossil fuels. We are going to make voluntary choices to cut back, in this area, and I think Canada will be a leader in that area. Thank you.
Great. Thanks a lot, Vince, for being a part of this show. We'll definitely get more information from you in the coming shows. Thanks a lot.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you, Khalid.
Toronto's economy comprises of 10% of the Canadian GDP. Toronto's GDP was over $157 billion in 2013. Let's talk to our economy expert, Badr Shamim, and see what he has to say about the Canadian economy.
The monetary policy in North American jurisdictions is reflective of our current economic growth rates. While U.S. economy continues to pull ahead, growing faster than most developed markets, thanks to a robust global manufacturing sector, Canadian economy is feeling the effects of a pullback in the commodities and energy prices. In an environment like that, we are experiencing significant job losses in the oil patch and resulting pullback in real estate values across Western provinces. In light of the current environment, Central Bank of Canada is poised to keep interest rates either where they are or only gradually move them once employment situation starts to improve. We'll have to give some time for the job losses in the oil patch to be absorbed in other sectors, and in particularly in the manufacturing sectors out east and in Ontario, for interest rate policy to be able to move ahead. In the United States, on the other hand, because of the modest growth rate, US Central Bank is starting to normalize its interest rates. And by normalization, what I mean is that interest rates in the United States have been abnormally low for the past 7 years, reflecting the significant job losses they had suffered as a result of a collapse in the financial sector and real estate market in 2007 and 8. Over the coming years, we expect Federal Reserve of the United States to modestly increase its interest rates, while in Canada will most probably stay where we are. The rising interest rates in the United States is leading to strength in US greenback as compared to weakness in Canadian dollar in light of continued downward pressure on the price of oil and commodities and slowing real estate values out west. Canadian dollar will most probably continue to hover around the same value or will grow a little bit weaker. In terms of its impact on consumer base, for those Canadians who like to travel down south, unfortunately that travel is going to be a little bit more expensive. Staying in a hotel, buying food, renting a car will all cost more money. As compared to that, on the US side, US consumer will be able to travel to Canada both for recreational reasons as well as for business reasons with relative ease.
Dr. Amita Joshi brings you information regarding your everyday health in our segment, Toronto Buzz Health.
Welcome. I'm Dr. Amita Joshi Mundanchira, bringing you topics of medical interest that matter to you. You could call it the disease of the Western world, a condition that may be coined as metabolic syndrome. There is still some controversy around that term because some medical research practitioners do not agree with the term. But regardless, let me tell you what it's all about. Metabolic syndrome includes a multiplex risk factor category that includes high blood sugar, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and abdominal fat. So if you have 3 or more of this in combination, then you're at very high risk for coronary heart disease like heart attack, stroke, fatty liver, and many cancers. I have to say in particular, coming from a South Asian background, we are even at higher risk for this because unfortunately we have inherited some genetics that have been passed on by our ancestors. The good news is if you recognize these in you in terms of abdominal obesity, you can already do something about it. Whereas if you're a person who likes to leave it to fate or say, oh, I do feel all good, I should be fine, then I would at least request you to go to your doctor annually and get a checkup done and make sure at least your blood pressure, your cholesterol, and your sugar are fine. Because when you get the checkups done early, like we always say, prevention is always better than getting treated later and going into complications. So if you get your annual test done, you will pick up on any early changes in your sugar, blood pressure, or cholesterol, and you can already do something about it, which I'll tell you in a minute. Because once you end up on medications, you could consider it for life. And once you're on one medication, sometimes that doesn't work, you then end up on multiple medications. And as you know, medications have side effects as well. So yes, some of us do need the medications because we are way past the preventative stage. But for those of you who are in the prevention category, I would urge you to look at your lifestyle. There's lots you can do with your food intake and with your exercise habits. And there is also a lot you can do with vitamins. And your pharmacist is your good friend regarding that, regarding vitamins. But let me tell you about good eating. It does not mean going on a diet and losing 10 pounds in a week. What I mean by healthy eating is to make sure, number one, eat on time. You could be a person who eats 3 big meals through the day, or you could be a person who eats 6 small meals through the day. Choose whatever you like, but make sure you eat on time. If you have a very busy schedule and that's your excuse, oh no, I didn't have time for lunch, don't make that excuse. There's lots of nutritional meal replacements that you can keep in your pocket. You can grab to a protein bar if you're running late or you're busy, not enough to take lunch. That's number one. Number two, make breakfast the biggest meal of your day and dinner the lightest meal of your day. Make sure there's at least a 2 to 3 hour gap between dinner and bedtime. And make sure when you do have each meal, control your portions. You can eat all the 4 food groups, including the carbohydrates, the dairy products, your meat, fish, poultry, and your vegetables and fruits. Those are your 4 categories. Make sure you have servings of all, but make sure you do it in moderate portions. So if you just follow these simple rules, you will be healthy. It's more about being healthy. If you do have some weight to lose, you will see the pounds come off slowly, so don't get demotivated, keep at it. So that's about healthy eating. In terms of exercise, I would suggest mix it up with cardio and with some weight training. And this doesn't mean you have to pay a personal trainer or go to the gym. This can be done right in your home. If you're in a condo, use the stairs. That gives you cardio. If you're in a home, just walk back and forth in a room, time yourself for at least 15-20 minutes. What can you do for weights? Well, Walmart, Canadian Tire, they sell weights for cheap. Or do you have rice bags at home? Use them for weights. Do you have children? Do you have pets? Use them for weights. So you don't have to invest a lot. You can do it right out of your home. So healthy eating, exercising will make sure you are on the way to preventing any genetics being expressed for high blood pressure, high sugar, high cholesterol, and keep that abdominal fat under control. But make sure once again, go to your doctor for regular checkups, and if anything more is picked up, maybe you end up on medications. Hey, that's at least better than having a heart attack or a stroke. For more information, I would suggest that you go to the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Canada and keep yourself healthy. Thank you for watching us. This is Dr. Amita Joshi Mundanchira.
You're watching Toronto Buzz. Fitness is very important for our everyday living. Let's see what Ms. Sadia Iram shows us today as a fitness exercise.
So life is busy in Toronto, taking out some quality time for yourself. This song I'm going to talk about it's a Kumbie. Kumbie song is another discipline in Zumba, which really gives you a self-confidence and giving you a lot of moves of your cardio and your body and making your quads beautiful. Let's see that beautiful song and getting up and doing some exercises with us.
Canada's own Miss Universe Canada 2008 brings us beauty and fashion tips. Let's see what Samantha Tajik has for us today.
Welcome to Toronto Buzz. I'm Samantha Tajik. Today's trending topic is contouring. So what is contouring? Contouring is basically a technique that makeup artists or yourself could use to sort of enhance your face, change up your features a little bit, kind of give yourself some of that chiseled look or highlighted look, give yourself higher cheekbones, you know, so it's kind of cheating. But yeah, it's all the hype right now, and there's tons of videos online just kind of showing you tips and tricks on to how to do contouring yourself, and there's tons of kits out there on the market. So you can go to any one of the stores such as Sephora, Shoppers Drug Mart, pretty much like anywhere in Toronto that sells makeup right now would have contouring kits. So here's just a simple one that I'm going to show you that I use. And this one's by Glow Minerals, and basically what it is kind of giving you different shades, and there's a little guide on this one here, basically just kind of showing you where you're going to use the darker tones, where you're going to use the lighter tones, and yeah, I'll leave the rest up to the clip that we're going to go to right now, because that's going to show you a little bit better as to what I'm talking about.
You're going to want to start with the foundation first. So I'm going to use, this is the Kat Von D, the Lock-It foundation, and this is in 57 medium. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm applying it all over my face. I know sometimes you see people apply a contour and then the highlight and then they just blend everything together. That is really great, but when you want to do more of an extreme contour, it's better to contour later on after you've applied the foundation. Now also because I want the contour to be strong, I'm gonna highlight first. I'm just gonna use my concealer. You guys know I love the Clé de Peau concealer. And I'm going to now just highlight areas that I want highlighted. Of course you're supposed to highlight and contour. That makes everything look big and things look small where you want it to look small. But when you apply the highlighter and then the contour, you are able to blend the contour a little bit onto the highlighted area as opposed to the highlighted area onto the contour. So it really does create the illusion of thinner cheeks and, you know, better jawlines. So that's why it's really important if you want to make yourself look like you've lost weight to highlight first and then contour. I'm just going to go ahead and use the Beauty Blender and start to blend that all out. So we've highlighted, next we're going to contour. I'm just grabbing a little bit of that contour, just going to go ahead and place it in my cheeks, in the hollows of my cheeks first. And first I'm just drawing a more exact line. And I'm just going to do it along my forehead. And also all along the jaw. So this I would normally do anyways, right? This is what you normally do with a contour. Now to make it look like you've lost weight, you're going to now take this contour upward. I can show you right here. We're taking it upward. So it's going to make our cheeks look a lot slimmer. And then we're going to take the contour a little more extreme to the middle of the brow right here. Right? And now for the jawline here, I'm going to actually draw onto my face here. And then even a little bit onto the jawline here. And I know this looks like a lot of contouring. It is. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm using this brush to start blending it out. And now I'm just using the brush I used to apply the foundation with, and I'm alternating it between the contour brush to kind of blend everything out. You can already see I look a lot slimmer. And I actually used this a lot when I was pregnant because some people gain weight in their faces and others don't. And I happen to be one of those people who gain every single pound in my face. That's just where it goes. Nothing wrong with that because I know how to contour. Don't forget your double chin. And after I've contoured, I'm kind of going again and making this line look a little more defined. So almost like my cheek is really defined and it's really coming out. You kind of want to just thin out like the whole wideness of your face, so you really do want to contour everything. You should definitely apply some foundation to your neck, but you want to just kind of take a little bit of that dark color and apply it right in the middle. This really does make you look much more slender. And of course, if you're showing the rest of your body, you can also accentuate your collarbone. I'm just gonna go ahead and set my face, and then I'm gonna begin with the powder contour. So while I'm actually baking, you can see I have some powder on my face, and I'm gonna leave it there for a little bit. I am now going to start with the contour. So if you're somebody who doesn't really like to bake, you want more of a simple method, you can skip the whole baking process and kind of just apply a little powder on top and get ready to contour. So I'm gonna grab, this is the Cocoa Contour Palette from Too Faced. I love this palette. And I'm just gonna go ahead and mix these two brown colors. I'm now gonna go ahead and contour again. And you can see when I'm contouring, I'm starting again upward and then moving my way in. So normal contouring, I actually just usually keep it along here, but when you are trying to make it look like you've lost weight, you should definitely go in with a thicker contour. And I'm applying it on my forehead. And then again, a little stronger over the brows. So I'm shrinking everything in. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and brush away everything I left there for baking. And I'm gonna contour my nose and then just apply a little highlighter. So this is it. This is the final contoured shaped look. And you can see my face looks a lot slimmer, and it does in fact look like I've lost like 5 or 10 pounds, which is awesome. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if anybody had a super fun Christmas and New Year's and you guys need to look like you've shed some pounds, then this tutorial will hopefully help you out. So please make sure you guys thumbs up this video if you liked it, and check us out on Instagram and also Snapchat, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
When you or your loved one is injured in a car or slip and fall accident, one of the most important decisions you're going to make is the lawyer that you hire. At Alam Law, we take pride in the fact that every person who calls for a free consultation speaks to one of our personal lawyers, not just a legal assistant or agent. Call Alam Law at 416-625-2636 for a free consultation. And remember, you do not pay anything unless I win your case.
There's a lot of reasons why I'm really happy to be working with Greenish, but one of the main ones is their brand philosophy, which is also my personal philosophy, and that is embracing this passion for life. They develop products that help you live your life to the fullest in a wholesome and a healthy way. And Greenish products are really those that I trust, and I trust that you'll trust them as well, because it's all about living your life to the fullest.
You're watching Toronto Buzz. Fruits and vegetables are a great source of energy, as well as nutrition. Ms. Stephanie DiGrazia brings us information regarding nutrition.
Hi everyone, thank you for watching Toronto Buzz. This is Stephanie DiGrazia, registered holistic nutritionist, here to share my wellness and nutrition tips with you. So today I'm going to be talking about sugar. Research has shown that sugar is one of the most addictive toxins. The average intake of sugar by North Americans today is 22 to 24 teaspoons per day, which is 4 times the amount that the World Health Organization suggests is healthy. This is leading and contributing to many illnesses and conditions such as obesity, diabetes, and high blood pressure. So why do we crave sugar? One of the major reasons we crave sugar is because it releases the feel-good chemicals in our brain, such as dopamine and serotonin, and temporarily make us feel better. But the issue is that it's highly addictive and therefore causes us to crash afterwards, and we end up craving more unhealthy sugary foods. Other health conditions can also contribute to this, such as fatigue, chronic fatigue, depression, and anxiety. So what are some ways we can reduce sugar or reduce cravings for sugar? Number 1, eat often, spread out your meals, and ensure that they include a complex carbohydrate and or a protein. This will help you to curb cravings as you'll feel more full. Number 2, eat fruit. Many people do crave sweet fruit or sweet foods, so eating something like fruit will be a much healthier option to curb your sweet tooth. Number 3, include fiber. Fiber works by filling up our intestines and makes us feel full and satiated for a lot longer, which will reduce our cravings for other types of foods. Number 4, exercise. Not only will exercise get you out of the kitchen and away from temptation, but research has also proven that exercise will help you to curb and eliminate cravings. Number 5, drink water. A lot of the times when we think that we're hungry or craving certain foods, it's our body telling us that we need hydration. Try drinking a glass of water, wait 15 minutes, and chances are that your craving will have subsided. Number 6, retrain your taste buds. A lot of us are eating much more sugar than we need, and the more sugar we eat, the more sugar we feel we need or that we crave. If you start putting less sugar in your drinks, start adding less to your recipes, and buying food that does not have added sugar, it'll retrain your taste buds so that you will adapt and therefore crave less sugar. And finally, use natural sweeteners. So if you do want something sweet, go for a more natural substitute such as stevia or coconut sugar, which don't spike your blood sugar quite the same way that table sugar does. Or you can go for an option like unpasteurized raw honey or pure maple syrup, so that while you're getting your sweetness, you're also obtaining some beneficial nutrients, vitamins, and minerals along with that. So I hope these tips help, and stay well.
Where there is ruin, there's hope for a treasure, wrote Rumi. Ms. Fariha Shah brings us inspirational stories as well as information about our everyday inspiration topics.
Hello, Fariha Shah once again, the Passion Practitioner here with you. You have a little bit of an idea about myself now, the fact that I love Rumi, I love inspirational quotes, and I do not believe in mistakes because there aren't any, they're only learning lessons. Today, I'd like to discuss how we can incorporate passion in our own lives. Very much so, it's a case of, going back to our roots. What did we dream of trying out as a child? So for myself, as I can only give my own example, and I'd love to hear from you guys as well. It's a case of when I was younger, I loved cars. I loved going to car showrooms, and when my parents were purchasing a vehicle. And I also shared with you that I've had different academic experiences as well as jobs in the financial services industry. So how did I get into car sales or as a product advisor? It's a case of I actually took my own vehicle to be serviced, and then whilst I was waiting, I went into the showroom, and just the smell of it, oh my God, the leather smell of new cars, who doesn't love that? And I was like, I would love to work in this environment, and why not? It's a case of, why do we not experiment with our lives? Everything that we've ever wanted to try out, why do we limit ourselves? It's a case of try whatever is out there, live our life as an experiment, because this truly is the only life that we have. I am acquainted with several medical practitioners and an oncologist surgeon, and he said to me, Fariha, when people are on their deathbed, they never regret things that they've done. The only regrets that they have are things that they didn't do. So why regret? Live our life now and live it passionately to the fullest. And it's a case of, if we have to think, so what is my passion? Make a list. What are things that light us up? What are things that ignite flames within us? What are things that make us smile? And then one by one, we often hear about bucket lists. Yes, create a bucket list, and one by one, check them off. And that is your passion tip for today.
Welcome to Toronto Buzz, and I'm your host, Khalid Mahmood Atta. As part of our programming, we often show you an interview with a specialist. Tonight, we are lucky to have Miss Universe Canada, Ms. Samantha Tajik, part of our interview program. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show Toronto Buzz. I'm your host, Khalid Mahmood Atta, and once again, we are delighted to have a very special guest in our studio tonight. She is the Miss Universe Canada for 2008, a very industrious individual, very talented. I would like to introduce her to the show right now. Samantha Tajik, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here. Nice to see you again.
Thank you so much for accepting the offer of coming on to the show. How do you like it so far, being on the show?
Well, the first few seconds are amazing so far.
So that's awesome. Now, Samantha is the Miss Universe for 2008. She has, for Canada, she has been to a number of beauty pageants, and we're going to be talking to her about her life after as well, after being crowned Miss Universe Canada. So tell us about yourself, Samantha. What brought you into the pageant and modeling business? What was it?
Actually, it was something I never really imagined coming into, especially pageantry. I remember watching Miss Universe on TV, and I never really thought about how the girls get there. Needless to say, think about myself ever applying for such a thing, but I was scouted by the publicist for Miss Universe Canada, and he convinced me that, there's nothing to lose. It's a great experience. You'll meet a lot of girls and make some friendships and stuff. So really, I just went into it with an open mind and just for the experience. And I kind of fell in love with pageantry and what it's all about. And, at that point, I had already gotten involved in modeling. But I think for me, pageantry it was more capturing to me because you get to apply your personality a lot more.
Now, 2008, the beauty pageant, Miss Universe Canada. What was that experience like? You were crowned the Miss Universe that year. Where was the event? What happened? What transpired up till the event? And how did you actually make it to the finals? Just tell us a little bit about that particular year and what happened.
Well, the process is very long. There's a lot of preparation and training that goes into it. So it's not a one-night show like some people may think. Definitely long process. You actually have interviews to make it for your province starting a year before.
Really?
So it's quite the journey there. But along the way, you kind of get to know the girls from your province that are going to the finals, and you form some friendships with them. So when you get there, it's not like you walk in and you don't know anybody. So that's the nice thing. And basically I went into it with the motivation to win. I really wanted to represent Canada. I wanted to go into it, give it my best. And, I tried my hardest, and obviously it paid off.
Where was the event? Which city was it?
The event was held in Toronto.
Toronto, okay.
Yeah, but I'm going to take you back a little bit.
Sure.
I'm just going to rewind a little bit because I actually ran for Miss Universe Canada the year before. So when Andrew first scouted me, that was in 2007.
Oh, really? Okay.
So in 2007, I competed and I got third runner-up.
Oh,
So
nice.
that year, I was more than happy to walk away just with that. But then the organization did, encourage me to come back, try again, and they did present me some opportunities to represent Canada at other pageants. So it kind of all ended up, right time, right place, and I just ended up doing it again.
Now, now representing Canada at the Miss Universe International, how was that experience? Where was the event held, and how was that experience?
The experience was amazing. It was held in Vietnam.
Vietnam, okay.
Of course, it was a big honor to represent Canada. I love my home country, so for me it was, I have a lot of pride in that. And it was a wonderful experience. It's really life-changing because of everything you go throughout your whole year. It's not just about that, that experience that you get from the competition in itself, but the year as the title holder, all the things that you get to do. So all in all, I just feel very, very lucky, very blessed to have had the opportunity.
Sure. Now, when you travel the world, when you go to Vietnam and places as Miss Canada, Miss Universe Canada, how do people treat you being a Canadian and then you being a Miss Universe? How do you get what's the treatment like?
Well, who doesn't love Canada? I mean, it's
Sure.
So I've been treated very well. It's kind of different everywhere you go. I find that there is a lot of pageant fans, more so in South America and in Asia, such as Vietnam, Korea, China. All those countries seem to be, they seem to follow pageantry a lot more than North America at this point.
So now when you become the Miss Universe title holder, like you did in 2008, what's the life as a Miss Universe like? What kind of events, what kind of programs do you get involved in? What is the kind of works that you do? Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, Miss Universe or Miss Universe Canada?
Miss Universe Canada, yes, 2008. Yeah.
I wish, but yeah. So, similar roles though. At the end of the day, you're a title holder. It's a responsibility. It's an honor and a responsibility. So it's a job. So, you have a lot of things that you need to do. There's a lot of charities you work with. And that's why I think it's really important that they select the right person because when you have a passion for doing all those things, it doesn't feel like work to you, and you just feel lucky to be doing it. So, you do everything from runway shows, print ads.
Really? Okay.
You can do some. It just depends. Each girl kind of has different opportunities that present themselves, but definitely a lot of stuff within the media industry, but also a lot of work within the charity communities worldwide and stuff like that. So
Now it's 2016 now. It's been
Yeah.
eight years.
8 years.
And how's the life after been? How do you cope with being at such a high level of celebrity status down to a normal individual after 1 year? How do you cope with that, and what are the things that, are you still involved in some of the work that you did as a Miss Universe Canada?
Yes. I mean, I was always a normal individual.
Right.
It was just, different events that were going on in my life. I've been lucky to have a lot of it continue for me. So I'm still very much involved within the, within the media industry, within the film industry, all that kind of stuff. So I'm still doing a lot of different things within modeling and all that. So still heavily involved and still doing some charity events here and there. But, life goes on, you move on to different projects, different things. And for me, I really enjoy applying all my experience and coaching the girls now. So I do work with different pageants, training girls. And I actually was on the team of the committee for a new pageant called Canada's Top Choice pageant. So that was a new experience, being behind the scenes of putting a pageant together. I love this. I love this. And in fact, I think it kind of brings more joy seeing your girl succeed when you've been part of her training and seeing her succeed on stage. It's a different kind of joy than when you succeed. It's like I'm a pageant mom,
Of course. So you have a student that actually goes there and does it, right? So it's a different kind of experience. Now you've been living in Toronto for quite some time. Our show is about Toronto. It's about the Toronto. It's called Toronto Buzz. It's about people like you, individuals who've made it up there, who are inspiration to others. Living in Toronto, tell us a little bit about what's your life in Toronto like, and how do you like it in Toronto?
Okay, well, I don't really like Toronto.
Oh, really? Oh,
I
okay.
love Toronto. Okay, love. So it's like the best city in the world.
Of course.
Honestly, I've traveled worldwide, over 30 countries, and I gotta say, there's just something very special about Toronto to me. I think it has a lot to do with how multicultural it is, and how it's encouraged, and how we all kind of come together to make this
vibrant
just
city.
Harmony, and it's just I don't know, it's just really, really special, unique, and I love that we have all these different areas where people kind of have, like how we have Chinatown and Little Italy and all that. It's just it's like the whole world all in one little place, and it's I really love it.
Sure. If you were to decide on living in a city besides Toronto, what would it be? Which city would it be? Or would it actually be Toronto, and that's it?
Honestly, I feel like everywhere that I've traveled to had something very unique and special about that place.
Sure.
It's got its own beauty, but where would I move? That's a tough one. That's quite tough. I don't know about to stay there permanently. Somewhere maybe warmer, but even so, I don't know. Honestly, I don't there is no second choice. I love Toronto that much.
Absolutely. You're like most of us.
Oh wait, I lied.
Is there another city?
There totally is.
It's
Paris.
in Europe? Oh, Paris. Okay.
Paris.
That's
but
a
that's
beautiful
just
city. It's
the obvious.
It's so romantic. Yeah. I've been to Paris a few times, and the art and the romance there is totally different. Totally agree with that. Now, being at the top level of pageantry and modeling business over a period of time, or a few years, what is your message for aspiring ladies who are coming out of school and trying to adopt this as a profession? What is the one advice that you would give to them, which has been the essence of your experience?
Within this industry, I think I guess like the biggest lesson is just, you know, get back up, dust yourself off, and continue, because everyone's going to fail. There's
Sure.
not one person that's going to, I don't think, that's going to come into it and just hit everything, like get every audition, no, it's so I think that's the biggest lesson, is to really believe in yourself and keep going. Just like when you know what your dream is, just keep pursuing it, keep pushing on, and just find the strength to always move on and move towards that. I guess that's the biggest
Sure.
piece of advice I could pass on for the whole industry. And actually, no, that applies to anything, any
Of course,
job or
of
any
course,
dream that
yeah.
they have.
Sure.
That's what it would be. And number two, if they are looking to get into fashion, especially in modeling, I would advise them to check out Toronto Fashion Academy.
Of course.
Because I do work there. I'm an instructor, runway
Sure.
instructor, and I teach the modeling program. And I just feel that they have a lot to share, and they can definitely help people get further in their career.
Sure. Now, for the broader audience, obviously you are a celebrity. You have represented Canada in, as you said, a number of countries. For the broader audience, what would you be? Before we leave, what would you say to them, and what would be your message to them?
Sorry. What would be my message to the audience in terms of
What?
just like traveling?
No, just inspiration. Maybe what you gathered as an experience in your life.
Well, I mean, a message that's really important for me to pass on, a general message, is that I think right now the world really needs to come together and be united.
Absolutely.
I think our strength comes in us all being together and supporting and seeing that we're all human, we all have blood, we all, you know, at the end we're all the same. I think that's kind of what I want to stress to the world right now, is to stop dividing and to stop looking at the bad, because there is bad people of every kind. And I think that we need to kind of stand up for ourselves right now with certain evils around that are trying to create certain things, and be like, no, we're together, we're going to stand up, and we're going to stand up for human rights, and we're going to come together to beat this, and we're going to share compassion and love and for all, you know, not for a certain category, a certain country, but for every human life, because I think every human life deserves your compassion and deserves, you know, that respect.
That's an amazing, great message that you have. Thank you so much, Samantha, for being part of the show.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you being here, and it's an honor for us to have you here.
Thank you. Can I just throw out one more thing to the
Sure,
audience?
absolutely.
I'm going to be hosting a show called Lovebirds, which is a dance competition that's coming up soon in February. There's tons of information online, so if you want to check it out, I hope to see you there.
Sure. Thank you so much for
Thanks.
being
Thanks for
part of the
having me.
show. Ladies and gentlemen, we had Samantha Tajik today, Miss Universe Canada 2008. Honor and privilege to have her in our show. The message that she conveyed is for harmony, is for peace. And with that message and with that little word of advice from Samantha, we say goodbye from our studios here. I'm your host, Khalid Mahmood Atta. Thank you for watching Toronto Buzz.
#1 multicultural channel. This is TAG TV.